I realized at a very early age, personal responsibility and consequences, right? Personal responsibility and consequences. There are equal and opposite reactions for every action. And whether people want to believe it or not, the decisions that you make in the early part of your life can close doors that would have been open for you a decade later.
Mm,
Um, and people don't like to hear that, right? Because I come from like I'm originally from Indianapolis, so that's why I kind of got this like north of the Dixie swagger and hustle about myself. But when my parents got divorced when I was 15, I moved to Kentucky, and I went from a school in Indianapolis of 4,000 kids to a school in Kentucky with 400 kids. And
mm.
it was the teen birth rate capital of Kentucky. It had the highest teen birth rate in Kentucky. Okay. And so what I saw there, man, was that when you have children at a very, very early age, there are certain consequences to that. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the babies. I love them. They're God's blessing, and you can go on about your life. But at some point, you got to learn Dr. D's birds and the bees, and you understand how that stuff works. And so, by being all willy nilly with it, you can actually cause yourself loss of opportunity, or at least more struggle in the future.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Q Edmonds. Excited to be here today. Got another fantastic guest. And listen, this guy done tried it all. Like he talking about brought, sold, fix, flip, wholesale. He didn't try it all. But what I love about him, he's well rounded. Yes, of course, we're gonna talk about real estate, but this man is just a businessman at heart. It's been very successful, and I'm just so excited for us just to peek through his lens. You know what I say all the time? People are expert at what they do. Nobody's an expert like you at what you do. You know the nuances of what you do. And so again, this gentleman is going to tell us a little bit of nuance of his life, of business, and his journey in real estate. And so I am so happy to introduce you guys to Coach Carroll. Coach Carroll, how you doing today, sir?
Great, man. Appreciate you having me on, and shout out to all the listeners that are tuning in, listening, or watching.
Absolutely. I'm let y'all know right now, he has been the most difficult guest by far by anybody. No, I'm just messing. This guy's gonna be fun to talk to. And so, Coach Carroll, man, listen, I want to dive right in, sir. Like, I want you to tell us what your main focus is these days. Tell us a little bit of an origin story of how you got into real estate, and even just if you want to intertwine, even just business. Of course, we're gonna talk about real estate, but when I got somebody like you on, I know you're multifaceted, right? So journey into real estate, and then also, man, what markets you're operating in, where you are in the world. So, Coach Carroll, you got the floor, man.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, man. I'm based out of Louisville, Kentucky. I wore my shoes today, so you couldn't tell, and I've been investing in real estate since that would have been 2014. And, really, even if you count my first primary residence, I bought my first house when I was 21 years old. That was my primary house. It was a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath, cost me $39,000. And I know before what everybody said, everybody's like, I'm moving to Kentucky, man, right? You can't find anything for that anymore. And they're not that cheap anymore here either. Inflation has I guess if you're on the outside, you call it inflation. If you're on the inside, you call it appreciation. It's all the same thing. Prices have went up. And so, my story starts all the way back, man. In high school, I turned down 8 football scholarships, started mowing grass, and decided instead of going the traditional route, I was going to bet on myself and believe in myself when nobody else did. And I grew that little lawn care and landscape business to over 3 million in revenue and sold it, transitioned into power washing and window cleaning. And now I've got an AI software product that we help small business with all across the US. My personal brand, Coach Carroll, man, it's just how I show up online. I think everybody needs a personal brand no matter what you do. If you're an employee, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a real estate investor, I've got a buddy of mine, Corey. He's one of the top Allstate agents in the U.S., lives just outside of Atlanta. I've been telling him for years, me and a couple of other guys, like, dude, you got to make a brand. You got supercars, like you got clickbait just laying all over the place, man. You need to be getting after it. And so this past 12 months, he went into creating a personal brand, and he literally did 2 deals off of it. So he buys and fixes and flips. So he did 2 deals off of it. People found him on social media. So Coach Carroll's my brand. I'm all about weaponizing the next generation of business leaders and their teams. I want to give them the tools, the tech, and the training to be able to succeed, because honestly, man, I don't think the government's coming to save anybody. I think entrepreneurs are the ones that save the world. And I think the more entrepreneurs we have, the better off we are as a country. And so that's my lifelong mission. And so I do that through training and books and speaking and podcasts just like this, man. So I'm excited to be here today and chop it up with you a little bit and hopefully pour back into your audience and give them some nuggets they can take away.
Absolutely, man. I love it, man. Thank you for walking us through the journey, man. And I like to say this statement that destiny has no wasted moments. And when I say that, I mean like no matter where you go through life, you have whatever destination, you pick up things that ultimately change your identity, change who you are, core values that you hold dear. And so I'm listening to you turning down football, running an AI, turn a power wash business. I think you said it's at 3 billion, right? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
here like I'm about to be a squeegee boy on the street. I'm about to start all over, man. Like you hyping me up. I'm like, maybe I can do it too.
The crazy part about that, man, is that the lawn and landscape business, we did snow removal and holiday lighting with it as well. I sold the lawn and landscape and snow removal. It had done about 3 million in revenue. I've done over 10 million in revenue in the power washing business. We'll probably get closer to 15 now. And then I had a holiday
My
lighting business.
apologies. Thank you for correcting me. I heard the humble correct. My apology. But keep going, Coach Carroll. My fault. No, keep going, man. Keep going.
Quinn, I'm just making sure we got all our facts straight, my man. You know what I'm saying? That's what make
right. Yeah.
I don't want somebody to watch this podcast and then get me tripped up in another podcast. Think I'm lying to you. I'm always going to shoot you straight. I got nothing to hide. Because one of the things I've also learned, man, just over life is like, it doesn't matter how big or small you are, you're always in the middle. Somebody will always have more and somebody will always have way less. And that's a good way to stay grounded. I think you got to have a little swagger about yourself in life. I think that carries you far. I think you got to believe in yourself and have confidence, especially if you're going to be beating the streets trying to find real estate deals. If you're going to be calling FISBOs and getting hung up on and cussed out, like you got to have some thick skin and be okay to like continue to push forward. But yeah, man, I just, I think that real estate, there's never been, this is commonly known, right? There's never been an industry that's created more millionaires than real estate, right? Like you do not have to make gazillions of dollars. You can go buy 10 houses, get them bad boys paid off. You don't ever got to pay into a 401k. You don't ever need to start a Roth. That can be your retirement, right? 10 paid off houses, renting out, cash flowing. Like you're in a good spot there. So that's what I love about real estate. And man, you ain't got to figure nothing out. Like, I'm over here building this AI software business now. There's no roadmap.
Yeah, right.
There's no like body I can call. Like, I've got a really cool business partner now, but like in real estate, dude, it's tried and true, and the same principles have worked for eons, man. It's like
Eon.
you can use the
Hundreds.
1% rule, which I'm sure your audience knows, right? Like if you buy the 1% of the rent goes to the you're good. Like underwriting done, right? It's crazy. There's so many ways to make with money with walls and roofs. Your audience is in a great spot, man.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah. I love it, man. I want you to tell me about your non-wasted moments, right? When I say that, like, tell me about what made you who you are today, some of the core values that you can identify that has made you the businessman you are, the man that you are. Like, what are some of those disciplines, meditations, whatever they are, that's made you kind of like who you are now?
I'll tell you, I waited by design. I waited until later in life to get married and have children. So, I'm 37. I'll be 38 in June. I got married when I was 34, had my first kid when I was 35, and then, just had my son this year. So that will change you. One, that'll give you, your kids will teach you lessons, right? They'll teach you patience. They'll teach you understanding. They'll also teach you not to take yourself so seriously. Those are some really cool lessons that I've learned just in the last couple of years. But, that old age-old, like, grit and hustle, man, that'll always be my thing. That's why I wrote my new book, The Hunter Head Game, because I think we have gotten soft, honestly. When your food is at the push of a button, you got people paying $8 to have a $5 cheeseburger delivered to them. And it ain't because their time is super valuable, okay? Like, I would get it. If your time is value, like, coach, I made a call and I made 50 grand, like I'll pay the $8. I'm like, I'm with you. But most times that's not how it works. And so for me, man, it's like, wanting to make sure that those lessons that I've learned, I could pass them down. And that's, the book was a way to do that. I talk about vision, having vision for your life, knowing where you're going. Napoleon Hill, most people know the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but oftentimes they don't know about what I like. I like this book better. It's called Outwitting the Devil. And it talks about drifting. And so the devil controls you if you're drifting. And again, I'm no theologian, so don't worry. I'm not pulling any books out right now. But I can tell you that if you're drifting, meaning you have no definite aim or purpose in your life, it's very hard to get places, man. Very seldom do you just wander upon success. Oftentimes it's years, decades, multiple decades of struggle and hustle to get there. But again, your audience is real estate. I don't, they're probably investors, could be real estate professionals. I think real estate as an investment revenue, or an investment arm in your life is great. I've obviously taken part in that, and I would also tell you from like a core value standpoint. You mentioned meditation. Prayer and meditation. I still remember the first time I ever meditated, Quentin. So I asked my buddy Keith Kalfas, he's a big YouTuber, and I was like, dude, you keep talking about this meditation stuff. Tell me about it. He's like, listen, just go in there and focus on your breath. I was like, what? He said, just do box breathing, right? 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds hold. And I was like, all right, this is kind of funky, but let's try it. And so we went in, we tried it out, and I came out the other side, man. It was amazing. It was game changing, and I'll tell you, it's something that for me, I've continued to practice and continued to do over the years, and it's probably one of the simplest but most effective ways for me to control my mind. Because as entrepreneurs, a lot of times, man, we got a million things going on in our brains, and so having that time to slow down is super important and super powerful.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, man, I love the way you talk. Outwitting the devil. I've never heard of that. Definitely going to look into that book.
It's a
Love how
banger.
you mentioned love how you mentioned prayer, bro, because prayer is a meditating form in itself. It centers the mind. It brings in gratitude. It's hard to be stressful and have anxiety when you're living in gratitude. It's hard for
Yeah.
you to do the both at the same time. It's hard to be curious and be angry and frustrated at the same time. So all of these things, when you put in meditation in place, it slows you down. It gives the amygdala time to regulate, and that lets your emotions kind of confiscate and hijack your amygdala. So
Yeah,
meditation
man.
is definitely key. And you talked about vision. There's a saying, without the vision, the people perish, which pretty means when you have a vision, it upholds everything, every standard, every operating system. When you got a vision, when you can look and aim towards something. And so I love the way you talk, man. I mentioned on my podcast, probably every podcast, Atomic Habits. I love Atomic Habits because it,
It's
it,
a good
it
book.
sets you, the course in motion for you to change your identity and habits. So everything you saying, man, is absolutely advantageous to being a successful person, but definitely a successful businessman. And when you talk about somebody like you, who we talking about millions of dollars, 10 millions, go these businesses out, that's going to be some of the core things that you have to have is what you're talking about in order to scale yourself and scale your business. And so I absolutely love it. I have to ask Coach Carroll, what's the next goal for you, man? What are you looking to solve next, scale next? What's your next aim? What's your next vision? Because you seem like a big dreamer to me. So what's next for you, man?
Yeah, having the family, man, will like recalibrate you a little bit to what's important. I think that we are in an oil boom era right now with artificial intelligence. And so Allie, which is our AI platform, she's a lead detective. So she does a couple things. She can identify anonymous website visitors. She has a voice capability so she can detect leads on your phone system as well as on your social media. So we think she's your first AI team member. And so we're pushing super hard on that, trying to scale that up. We may look to raise it around this year. I've never
Mhm.
done that before. All of my businesses have always been bootstrapped. I've always maintained that if you're not profitable, you ain't really a business, right? You're an investment instrument at that point. And so for me, I think it may be fun to go do that. I don't know. We'll see. Just picked up Dan Martell as a business partner in that business, and he looked at Allie, and we were selected out of like 400 companies. There were only like a dozen of us picked. And so he was pretty impressed with what she can do. So that's my main focus right now, man, building that thing up and try to get a pretty sizable exit. And then, probably take a big chunk of that money and go buy me some apartment complexes.
Come on. There you go, man. So I love you talking about Dan Martell. You're Coach Curl for a reason. So when you saying Coach Curl, you ain't just coaching yourself. Obviously, there's people that you are coaching. So I want to talk about relationship building. What premium do you put on relationship building? Is it important? Has it helped you within your business? Has it helped you be successful? What is your perspective on relationship building?
Yeah, so a lot of times people will tie this back into like your network, right? Like what your network is your net worth. Everybody
Okay,
always
yeah, yeah.
says that. It's true. I believe it. But I do also think that there is this like time and money switch, right? So in the beginning
Mm,
you have more time than you have money. Towards the later years of your life, you should have more money than you have time, right? And
mm,
so Dan talks about this in his book, Buy Back Your Time, to where as you accumulate more riches, you really shouldn't buy things, you should buy time. And that means
mhm,
employing people to do other things so that you can stay at the most highest leverage thing that you can do, right? So if I'm looking at me, I'm like, what's the highest leverage thing I can do? I could probably talk to our key accounts, right? Our key customers, keep those relationships really strong. I can talk to our partners, right? People that promote us, let me have webinars, things like that, and then I can be speaking either on podcasts like this or on stage, because those three things, when I'm doing them, I can't outsource. Nobody can do those three things better than I can if I'm in the room, right?
mm,
Now, or somebody hops in my DMs or in my comments like, well, you could scale with employees. They could manage those accounts. I get it. But I don't care how big you get. At some point, you will always have key people or key accounts in your life, right? There will be key people in your life. And I think keeping those relationships tight, making sure that they're operating how they should be, I think is some of the most valuable time you can invest in your week, in your month. And I will tell you, in the beginning, you should be networking your ass off, man. If you're brand new and people don't know who you are, you should be networking like a madman or a madwoman. Because at the end of the day, it's not about who you know. You know, people always say, oh, it's all about who you know. No. Let me correct that. It's not about who you know. It's about who knows you, right?
Ooh,
If you walk in a room and nobody knows who you are,
ooh,
what advantage do you have, right?
mm,
Love him or hate him, Donald Trump walks into a room right now, everyone's going to know who he is, right? What does that do for his situation, right?
yeah,
Bezos, same situation, right? Elon, same situation. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be famous, but again, this ties back to why I think having a personal brand is so important. Like, if you buy houses in your market and you walk into a networking event, do people know? They're like, oh, that's that Quentin guy. He buys houses. I know him. I see him all over the place. I can't get away from him on social media. Like
mm,
your presence that you can create, your the way that people perceive you, the way that people understand your brand, that goes far before you ever speak a word. And so I think those relationships are important, how you connect with people, who you spend time with. And it's a constant balance, man. I'm always struggling with like, time is money. Should I really be messing with this thing right now? Or is it like, no. Like I need to take a couple of days and go hunting with this guy because like
mm,
he's one of my best business partners that I got, right? Like it is
yeah,
worth sitting in the woods and doing nothing for 2 days, right? It's like
yeah,
I think that is a conundrum that you'll get into later in life or as you build relationships. Is easy when nobody knows you, right? Like you're begging to go to lunch,
right,
to get people to have a coffee with you. But
yeah.
then what happens is as you get further in the game, now it's all about saying no and less about saying yes, right? You got to turn opportunities away, put those guardrails up so that you can stay in your core genius and stay focused on what you want to actually achieve and follow that plan.
Yeah, no is a complete sentence. I've learned that along my journey that sometimes you just gotta say no. So no is a complete sentence. But I love how you said, I'm gonna synthesize it this way, protecting your core genius. That core genius in you. Sometimes you just so there's a book called Essentialism. Never if you heard of it or not, I'm sure. But it talks about knowing what to say hell yes to and knowing what to say hell no to, so that you can keep
Mm,
the essentials what they are. And so, absolutely, man, I hear you. And hats off to you, man. A lot of
I
people
like that.
don't talk about it enough, but hats off to you, man, for being self-aware enough to start the family later on in life. I'm sure your family benefit from that because you was able to involve yourself as a man before you bring on the other responsibility of having a family. And so hats off to you. Some people don't think are not selfless or selfish. Either way enough, because that can go either way, right? But you were selfish enough for yourself to develop you. That way you can be selfless when you need to be for your family. So it looked like you wanted
You,
to say
you know
something to
what?
that.
And I've actually never talked on this before because I used to get so much shit back in the day because I used to say like I'm never getting married, never getting married, and then I met Victoria, who is my now wife. We dated for 10 years. Like,
Mhm.
God bless her for hanging out with my ass that long and putting up with me.
Yeah.
I'm
That's so
fortunate to
real.
have her, man.
Yeah.
But for me, man, I realized at a very early age personal responsibility and consequences, right? Personal responsibility and consequences. There are equal and opposite reactions for every action. And whether people want to believe it or not, the decisions that you make in the early part of your life can close doors that would have been open for you a decade later. People don't like to hear that, right? Because I come from like I'm originally from Indianapolis, so that's why I kind of got this like north of the Dixie swagger and hustle about myself. But when my parents got divorced when I was 15, I moved to Kentucky, and I went from a school in Indianapolis of 4,000 kids to a school in Kentucky with 400 kids, and
Mm,
it was the teen birth rate capital of Kentucky. It had the highest teen birth rate in Kentucky. Okay. And so what I saw there, man, was that when you have children at a very, very early age, there are certain consequences to that. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the babies. I love them. They're God's blessing, and you can go on about your life. But at some point, you got to learn Dr. D's birds and the bees, and you understand how that stuff works. And so, by being all willy nilly with it, you can actually cause yourself loss of opportunity, or at least more struggle in the future. And it goes to the other side, man. I've got a couple of cousins that are locked up because they try to take the easy way out, selling drugs. I got another cousin that's not here anymore. I write about this in my book. My cousin Bogey, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, man. Some dudes kicked in the door of the house, and he ain't with us anymore. Your consequences. And that day, that night, he wasn't selling dope. He was just hanging out with the wrong people, right? And so personal consequences, personal responsibility is something that I think we really should spend more time teaching kids in middle school and in high school. Because if you do wait, and the reason why I did wait was, Quentin, I didn't want to have to say, are we going to buy formula, or are we going to, have dinner tonight? Right. Are we going to be able to afford diapers, or are they going to repo the truck? I didn't want to ever have those conversations. So I knew that if it's my responsibility to raise a child, I wanted to make sure that it was being brought into a situation that was conductive to its success, not hindering upon it. So take that with you, Will. If you want to throw me some hate and shade in the comments or in the DMs, go on, come at me. I've been doing this for a decade. You won't be the first one.
Listen, this what I say to all my brothers. I say when my brothers, when they give a vulnerable moment, I'm like, I ain't gonna leave you out here by yourself. Like, you gonna bless me with the gift of your vulnerability. I'll ride along with you. So I'll take some heat with you too, man. And so while I applauded what you said. So my dad had his first child when he was 16 years old, right? He was 16. So he instilled in me, like, son, the baby making process is wonderful. It's absolutely I'm trying to keep it PG, but it's absolutely fantastic. But he was like, but there's more to life than that. There's more to being a man than that. Because you inherit these responsibilities, like you said early. It changed the trajectory of your life. So you know what, Coach Carl? I waited till I was married, waited till I was 24 to do the baby making thing. And so, bro, I am with you. Listen, some decisions, if you make it too early, it will change the trajectory of your life. And you owe it to your future family to do the most responsible thing possible. And so if you're going to be a man, if you want to explore, you want to grind, that's cool, because sometimes your presence is a present. So sometimes you got to balance out the life of hustling, but or being there for your family. So I'm just, what Coach Carroll is saying, and what I want to double down on is, like he said, every action has a reaction. Just think about what you're doing. And I don't know who needed to hear that, but hey, we didn't put it out
Somebody,
there.
man. And you know what, Quentin? If it's just one person, man, that's why I make content. For years I've put out content that a video gets 14 views, and people are like, dude, why you even bother? Like, you've 14. You know what, man? Because that one person needed to hear that thing, right? And I'm not doing this for likes. I'm doing this for life. And so for me, it's nothing, man. It's another day of creating content and helping people. And who knows? Maybe somebody don't find this for 5 years, but then when they find it, they're like, holy smokes. Because that happens to me once a week, dude. I get a DM that said, hey, I listened to you on this podcast. I'm like, that was like 2 years ago. Like, this content lives for eternity, or at least until the robots shut the internet down.
I thought I was going to go up a podcast without doing this, but you brought it up. So I'm going to bring this book up. This is the book I'm reading. It's called Gradually Then Suddenly by Mark Batterson. And like you just said, it may be 5 years from now, somebody might hear this. But success happens, as Mark says, in two ways: gradually, then suddenly. Sometimes you got to put seeds in the ground, and you don't know when it's going to sprout up, just like a bamboo tree. That thing, it could take a long time for that bamboo to sprout up. But when it does, it sprouts up strong, and it's damn near indestructible. And so success happens gradually but suddenly. So sometimes you just got to put stuff in the ground, knowing that you're planting a seed, and then success is going to happen when you least expect it. But because you put the work in, it'll happen. And that's how I feel like with conversations like this. You're just putting the seeds in the ground, brother. That's all you're doing.
That's it.
Coach Carroll, man, I could do this with you forever, bro. I mean, I can go easy.
I got nothing, man. Let's go.
Hey, Coach, I got something. I got a life. And you have made this a very difficult conversation for me anyway. Now I'm just messing around. This is great, man. Listen, Coach, if someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you, sir?
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. First, before I even say that, guys, make sure you go drop a subscribe and a like and a comment for Quentin on this podcast. Help him get it out to more people and help more real estate professionals. Hopefully, I brought you value today. You got maybe a good laugh out of it, got a little entertainment, a little education. If so, go to CoachCarroll.com. It's CARROLL, 2 R's, 2 L's. And check me out. All the links to all the socials are on there. We reach about 2 million people a year through all the social media channels. I put out a ton of content. Any way you like to consume it, I've got it for you. We got podcasts, we got short form, long form, books. I've got my very first book I ever wrote called Phenomenal Phone Calls. It's the gritty guide to closing big money deals over the phone, to teach you how to cold call, because I think that's one of the lost arts in sales. And then, like I said, earlier, my most recent book is The Hunter Head Game. So you guys can pick that up at thehunterheadgame.com or on Amazon. The cool thing is I did a custom built AI with this. So you can actually log in and chat with the book. It's trained on the 250 pages of the book. And this was 10 years in the making, man. Like I said, I think this is going to help a lot of people over the next decade. It's the Hunter Head Game. The old world rewarded obedience. The new world demands killer instincts. So go out there. And as I always say, man, hustle. It's worth it.
Bro, man, when I tell you I love you so much, man, I love you so much, bro. I tell people all the time, obedience is an antiquated word, but man, if you learn some obedience, woo, it'll change your life. So yeah, so that's great, man. So listen, y'all done heard my guy. Listen, y'all definitely check out Coach Carroll. He's such a professional, because if y'all follow me enough, you know what I'm gonna say next. Check out Coach Carroll. But definitely make sure you're subscribed here. And he didn't already said make sure you're subscribed. And so listen, we just want to make sure that we continue to bring you this amazing content. I tell you all the time, we're going to continue to bring up amazing people just like Coach Carroll. So we want you to stay connected. Stay connected here. Check out Coach Carroll. Let these things change your mindset, right? Just a slight mindset shift, 1% will change your whole world. And so, Coach Carroll, thank you so much for being here. And everyone else, we'll see you on the next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.